Everybody, welcome back to another episode of FSi DFS Fantasy NASCAR Picks. I'm Ross Megawar 31. Sorry, speculation video today. We only have about a 3 hour window between 12 o'clock finishing of qualifying. There is no practice on a super speedway. Well, it's not a super speedway, but a track that's similar to a super speedway, kind of like Daytona. And the race starts around 3. Might be a little bit of rain in the forecast, but we'll have to watch for that. Should be hopefully okay for them to get in the race today. So we did see this race in the spring. We just saw Daytona, which is similar. Atlanta used to be a high tire wear, chew 'em up track. Then they repaved it, put more banking in, so it races more like a super speedway as a intermediate track. So we don't see the pack racing like we do and the drafting as much with the Xfinity cars. We see a lot of single file. Actually, in the spring race, Jesse Love got out there and led like 157 laps. So I'm thinking 1 to 2 dominators. I think it is still a place differential race, so we'll have to look at how they qualify. I'll definitely take place differential, but I'll take some shots up top. But in this rundown, I'm going to go through some people that I think it can definitely um, do well here. And I'm using the upside dominator because I kind of needed a category of people that I like just more than a general like GPP play. So I threw the upside dominator in there, but it doesn't mean like dominator in the true sense of who I think is going to go out there and lead a lot of laps. I'll talk about that and who potentially could as I go through the breakdown. And I don't know, maybe when I get the final one, I'll name some purple dominators when I post this in our Discord as the final draft. But Jesse Love got the pole for the it's like his second race of his career after doing pretty good at Daytona, but being a little too aggressive and wrecking. And then went out there and led, but only finished 12th. And I think, my model likes him to possibly get the pole here again. And it's got him finishing sixth. I think he's a cash play, and I think he's somebody that can dominate. Sheldon Creed has been knocking on the door for his first win. He has like so many career seconds, and I think it's just a matter of time. So I think he's a good 100K driver, someone that I would think's going to have like lower ownership just because he never seals the deal. But I think he's getting closer and closer. And these Joe Gibbs cars are always good, and he's always really good on this type of track. Cole Custer, same thing, but just he just sometimes can't seal the deal on tracks like this. Like I think I definitely like him on road courses, but he started 11th and finished 16th. Didn't lead any laps, so I think he's an okay play, but if I'm spending up, I'm going on other drivers. Chandler Smith, I'm giving a prime play. He finished second here, and he finished, I think, third in Daytona. He's done really well on tracks like this, keeping the car clean. This Gibbs program seems to understand it, and he's getting the finishes on um, unlike Cole Custer. So, and you're saving like $700 here. So I think no matter where he starts, that he's going to be a prime just based on how well he's done the last couple of, again, subject to change. But I think I'm pretty confident on playing him in my main cash lineup just based on how well he's done. AJ Allmendinger is probably used to be elite on super speedways. I know this isn't a super speedway, but we're going to treat it like that, but just hasn't been that good this year. I have him starting fifth. I have him finishing 13th in the spring. He started seventh and finished 13th. So, I mean, that's about par for the course there. Justin Allgaier, a model really likes him here. He's the highest projected driver at 54.54 points here. Has him finishing second after starting sixth. And I can see that Algar has always been good at these, and wouldn't surprise me if he gets up there and leads some laps. So he had a little bit of trouble in this race. I can't remember if he wrecked or what happened. Um, but he ended up finishing starting ninth and finishing 28th. But I don't think that's gonna be the case here. I think he's gonna have a good day. Austin Hill won this race. He went back to back. And if he didn't get wrecked by somebody at Daytona, I think he would have had a good chance there too. Always really good in these types of races, runs really well at Atlanta in the 3 races that we've how many, maybe 4 races since the repave. So always somebody that I really like and will try to get in my lineup, but I just didn't want to go prime because I needed some value. And so would he be like the fourth guy in? Yeah, probably. Depending on how he or her love, I'm probably looking at it as my fourth guy in with the primes to start the lineup. Riley Hurst is a 100K driver because he has the potential to win these races. He races really well here, but finds a lot of trouble. And it's not always his fault. It's just like I need to give him a box of like Lucky Charms put in the backseat of his car with like some rabbit feet and horseshoes and all the good mojo to help him succeed. It's just so frustrating because he runs so good and you have him in your lineup and then inevitably something happens. He gets caught up in a wreck and doesn't do well. But I know this team's folding and he's moving on and stuff. But I really think that this is a chance for him to go out there and the same thing as we saw with like the win with the RFK shutting down, or not RFK shutting down, sorry, Stuart Haas shutting down. Uh, last week in the Southern 500, I think this might be another good feel-good story if he could go out there and win this, get another win for like Stuart Haas before these guys all like lose their jobs and go their way. So 100K, I think there's a lot of upside here, but there's also a lot of risk. Ryan Truex, he's been really good at these tracks also. So I think he started eighth, finished ninth, and he's got a couple wins in the season, and he's racing for nothing. Doesn't need to get stage points or anything. They're not focusing on the playoffs just quite yet. We still have three races. This one's kind of it's not as like volatile as Daytona and Talladega, but it still can be kind of a crapshoot. So focus more on the playoffs at Watkins Glen and Bristol, the final race to get in there. But the thing is Truex is the first driver that we're talking about here that doesn't have to worry about stage points, which help him get track position. I don't really think the track position is super imperative. I think if you have a fast car and can drive, you can make it up if you know what you're doing. So I just don't think this is like one of those tracks where you have to establish track position. Nobody can pass, and once you get that position, you can fight to hold it and do well. So I think that can help them a little bit, but I don't think it's as big of a factor. Brandon Jones, I have an upside dominator just because this is the type of track that he does well at. But then again, he is up and down also, kind of like Riley Herbst. I like Herbst a lot better. Jones is probably like a light version of Herbst here, but I'll still consider him in some of my GPP lineups. Sam Mayer, same thing, kind of. JR Motorsports are usually pretty good here, but it seems like everybody's going like their step away, and like this whole team is like moving around. So we'll see if how that comes to play once we get into the playoffs and stuff. If who gets the support and who doesn't. But right now, I think Mayer could definitely win this race and go and have a good day. He could dash out also. I just the pricing, I'd rather pay $1,000 less for Brandon Jones or feels kind of the same type of driver here. Uh, Taylor Gray coming in up for a truck series is very talented there. Uh, Not as talented as Corey Heim, which I don't really understand, like why Gray gets the Gibbs car and Heim gets the Sam Hunt's car. I'd flip the two if I did. Like, I think you'd have a better scenario for winning, but contracts and whatever. But Gray, I think, should do well here. He's got a Gibbs car. He doesn't have to worry about stage points because he also is. So I think stacking all the Gibbs cars in a lineup really makes sense here because, like, if you can get Smith and Creed and Gray and Heim and Truex in a lineup, and then that's four, maybe it's five drivers. I don't know how much that gives you left, but I think that if they all work together and the Toyotas work together, and this again, it's more single file racing. It's not pack racing, but I still we'll do some manufacturer stacks to see how that plays out. Who's up next? Sammy Smith here. Same thing, GPP, hit or miss. Could have. I guess it's all gonna depend if any of these guys like Mayer, Jones, Sammy Smith qualify really poorly and have great place differential. They're automatically going to be cash plays. But Ryan Sieg usually doesn't qualify great and usually runs solid on these tracks. Where is he on this? I guess he didn't do that well. I don't see him. Keep on scrolling. But he's one that's usually pretty solid. Started 20th, finished 22nd. That's not super impressive, but he's usually pretty good here. Jeb Burton is one that I considered for the prime tag also because he's off of, but Jordan Anderson racing cars have been very good here. He's been good here. So if you don't like one of the prime plays, I think he could potentially be another option for you there. Corey Heim, I think, is good choice also. Like I said, the Toyotas are pretty strong here usually. So my model has him finishing 10th and in a solid day with 5x value. Parker Kligerman, if he doesn't qualify, like up in the top 10. If he qualifies down a bit, is usually solid. Although in the spring he qualified 5th and ended up 19th. But again, I think that's an outlier. Most of the time, he is up there contending for the top 10. So if he qualifies outside of the top 10, then I love him as cash play. Anthony Alfredo is a prime play. Really seems to get these types of tracks, and I know the model has him starting 18th and finishing 20th, but I just really see him run really well on super speedways and tracks like this and running a clean race. Started 15th, finished 7th. Did well at Daytona also, so I think I'm definitely going to lock him in as prime play. Clements and Weatherman are another ones like Jones I like want to keep an eye on if they start deeper in the field. Are really solid at these types of tracks. Clement started 23rd and finished 6th here. And I don't know if Weatherman started 17th and finished 17th. Both those are solid plays in the 6K range. So I just wanted to put the upside dominator just for you guys kind of circle them and keep an eye on them when you build your lineup. I like Josh Williams even better in this collie car. He just seems to be able to do well in these types of tracks also. So any three of these in the 6K range and throw Kyle Sieg also into the mix can definitely be great options for you. Parker Retzlaff has been almost elite on these tracks too. He started 24th, finished 5th. If you look back at Daytona and Talladega ones, he's had some crashes and stuff and had some bad finishes. But overall, if you take the crashes out when he actually finishes the race and it's a high percentage, he's finished more than he's wrecked out, then he usually pretty much excels. Doesn't obviously always qualify well, but does really well. I think it's just this Jordan Anderson program. And even in his like cup race there, he did pretty well too. So I just think he understands this type of racing and is a very good option for you. Shane Van Gisbergen, was really good in the first race here, started 13th, finishes 3rd with very little experience, and he's had a solid season. So if he starts down in like 15th or below, I think that he can definitely be a 10K driver. I don't think people are going to play him. I think they're going to overlook him for many other ones, but and I think he can be very sneaky and in that potentially 10K winning lineup. Kelsey already spoke about, like, I love the 6K range as great fill-ins. So Clement, Weatherman, Williams, and Kyle Sieg is where I'm going to probably fill in for cash. Matt DiBenedetto could be another option. It all depends on where he starts. Dustin Cram's a fade. He's the cheapest priced guy for a reason. Just really is not good equipment. It's my Carmen car. I don't know if it's going to make it the full race. Brandon Poole's another one that I really like in 6K range, the cheapest in 6K range, and has a lot of upside. And I think, he's probably he and Williams are definitely my favorite out of here. We'll have to see where they start, but you're going to hammer the 6K range to be able to get in the studs that you want up top. Again, this might be a race also like Daytona Talladega. We don't have to use all of your salary, so keep that in mind too. Yeah, then the 5K range is all GPPs here. Ellis, Lentz, Perkins, Smith Lee, Honeyman. I like the best out of them. Um, Perkins I liked, but he just has been having a lot of issues recently. David Starr, I think, is a fade. He's not even in. I had Mason Massey and the car in DK. So, but David Starr is listed on the NASCAR website. So maybe he'll be put in the player pool, but I don't think he's one that I want to play either. CJ McLaughlin, I question also. A lot of sailing coming over from trucks, pretty talented. AMN Racing. So, depending on where he starts, I might consider him, but he's finished 35th in the 2 races that he's raced in Xfinity. So I just think maybe he's getting used to like the car and everything versus driving the truck. but I think the talent will translate eventually. And I don't hate it taking shots on him. And then these Joey Gase cars are they'll probably start at the back. GPP fill-ins maybe, but could potentially be fade because I don't trust them. Along with the Mike Harmon car to make it through the whole race. So everybody should qualify unless they just take 36. And then my guess is that either Cram, Bard, or Maggio is the one that doesn't get in. So I got for you. If you have questions, put in chat below. Hit me at Megaro3 on Twitter/X. Great day to come enjoying FSi DFS for $6 today. You can play soccer. You can play MLB, college football. We've got NASCAR going on. NFL stuff will come out tomorrow. It's a 24-hour subscription, so if you like subscribe after noon, then you should be able to get the NASCAR or the NFL quarters for tomorrow for 1 p.m. for $6. So subscription video gets you the pricing page, so you check all that out. And if these videos help us back, like, subscribe to the channel and share with your friends. So thanks for watching. I'll be back tonight for the Cups video, and I'll try to get an NFL video out too. So hope you have an amazing weekend, and I'll see you next time.